If you've walked down the skincare aisle recently, you know it feels like you need a chemistry degree just to keep up.
It's a lot. A new acid, a new peptide. It feels like it changes every week.
Exactly. But today, we're going to hit pause on all the trendy new things and dive deep into something truly foundational for skin health.
The one ingredient that literally holds everything else together.
We are talking about ceramides. So our sources define them as naturally occurring lipids. Basically, they're fats, right?
Specialized fats, yeah. And they make up the structural backbone of your skin's outer layer.
I've always loved the analogy, if your skin cells are the bricks, ceramides are the mortar.
And our mission today is to show you exactly why that mortar is so critical. This isn't just about, slapping on some moisturizer.
This is about structure.
This is about the structure of your skin. We're going to look at how ceramides maintain the skin's barrier function. It's what keeps the good stuff in, like water, and the bad stuff out.
Like pollution and irritants.
Precisely. And when you replenish these ceramides, which, spoiler alert, your body makes less of as you age or get sun exposure, you instantly boost your skin's resilience.
So what does that feel like on your skin?
It feels smoother, it looks plumper, it's just fundamentally healthier.
Okay, so let's unpack that core science. We talk about this skin barrier. Where exactly are these ceramides located? Are they just everywhere?
They're highly, highly concentrated in what's called the stratum corneum.
Which is?
The very, very top layer of your skin, the part you can actually see and touch. So if you think of your skin as a wall, the stratum corneum is the outer layer of paint and sealant.
And the ceramides are packed in between the cells there.
Right. They're the sealant. They're a class of lipid molecules that fill in all the gaps.
Okay, so what are they actually doing up there? Barrier function sounds a bit, I don't know, abstract.
It does, but its impact is huge. We can boil it down to two words: lock and shield.
Lock and shield. I like that. Let's start with lock.
Okay, so the lock part is all about sealing in moisture. Ceramides form this protective layer that limits water from escaping. Scientists call it transepidermal water loss.
Transepidermal water loss. You hear that acronym all the time, TEWL. Can you break down what that actually means for someone listening?
Absolutely. TEWL is basically just the natural process of water evaporating from your skin into the air. It's always happening.
So it's unavoidable.
To a degree, yes.
Yeah.
But if your ceramide barrier is weak, it's like having a leaky roof. Water just pours right out.
And that leads to that tight, flaky, dehydrated feeling.
Exactly. Ceramides plug those leaks. They keep the water locked in.
Got it. So that's the lock. What about the shield?
The shield is your defense against everything the world throws at you. That strong barrier protects you from pollution, harsh weather, chemicals, all the daily irritants.
So for someone with sensitive skin, this is a game changer.
It's the difference between a good skin day and a day full of redness and reactions. A strong shield is everything.
Which brings us to the bad news. It sounds like our bodies are kind of working against us over time by just making less of this stuff.
That is the unfortunate truth of biology, yes. Ceramide levels naturally decrease as we get older.
And it's not just age, is it?
No, not at all. Modern life speeds it up. Sun exposure is a huge one, but also harsh cleansers, overusing strong actives like acids and environmental pollutants.
So when those levels drop, the barrier gets weaker.
And that's the direct cause of so much dryness and chronic irritation. It just opens the door for bigger problems.
So this is why you can't just rely on what your body makes. You have to add them back in.
You're literally replenishing what's been lost. It's a repair job, a fundamental repair job.
Let's move beyond just basic hydration then. When we talk about the benefits, strengthening the barrier, preventing that TEWL, improving elasticity, what's the real payoff for someone focused on, say, aging?
This is where the science has gotten really interesting. We used to think wrinkles were all about collagen loss. And they are, but
There's more to the story.
a lot more. The loss of ceramides is now seen as a key factor in how skin ages. Think about it. If your barrier is weak, your skin is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation and dehydration.
That sounds stressful for the skin.
It is. And that chronic stress speeds up the breakdown of collagen and elastin. So by replenishing these lipids, you're not just smoothing the surface for a few hours.
You're improving the skin's basic resilience.
Yes. You're building a structural defense against the visible signs of aging. It helps reduce the look of fine lines because the skin is stronger and better hydrated from within its own structure.
This idea of a structural fix must be why ceramides are so important for really troubled skin. Let's get into some specific conditions, starting with eczema.
Eczema is, it's the textbook example of a compromised barrier.
It's characterized by that super dry, inflamed, itchy skin.
Intensely itchy. And research shows again and again that people with eczema have significantly lower levels of ceramides in their skin.
So adding them back in is just logical.
It's exactly what that skin is missing. You're repairing the barrier, locking in moisture, and, crucially, preventing irritants from getting in and causing those flare-ups. It can dramatically reduce the severity.
What about rosacea? That's more about redness and
Well,
sensitivity, right?
Right. For rosacea, ceramides are more of a vital supporting player. They're not a direct cure. But the problem with rosacea is that the skin is extremely reactive to triggers.
Like wind or sun or temperature changes.
Exactly. Why? Because the barrier is weak. By strengthening that barrier with ceramides, you make the skin less reactive. You're basically building up its defenses so it doesn't overreact to every little thing.
Okay, now let's tackle a big one. A huge point of confusion. People with acne or oily skin hear the word lipid or fat, and they run for the hills.
And you can't blame them. The assumption is it'll just clog pores and make things worse.
Why is that not the case with ceramides?
This is such a critical point. Think about what many old-school acne treatments do.
They strip everything. Retinoids, benzoyl peroxide, they dry you out.
They completely destroy the moisture barrier. And when your skin is stripped and dehydrated, it panics.
And it tries to fix the problem.
By producing even more oil to compensate. It's a vicious cycle of dry, tight skin followed by an oil slick.
So ceramides break that cycle.
They break the cycle. They provide barrier repair and hydration without clogging pores. They bring things back into balance. The skin calms down, realizes it's hydrated and protected, and it stops overproducing all that extra sebum.
So it's not about adding fat, it's about fixing the damage from aggressively removing it.
You've got it. It restores balance.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so once you've decided you need a ceramide product, you look at the ingredients list and it's confusing.
Yes, it is. You don't just see ceramide, you see numbers and letters.
And our sources say they're either made in a lab synthesized, which is more stable, or they come from plants like wheat germ.
Yeah, and most of the good stuff you'll find in products is synthetic. It's just more stable, pure, and you can control the quality. They're bioidentical, so they mimic what your skin makes naturally.
So let's break down the main types you'll see. Let's call them the 4 pillars, starting with Ceramide 1.
Ceramide 1, or you might see it as Ceramide EOS. Think of this one as the pillar for structure and elasticity.
So firmness, bounce.
Exactly. It's a long-chain ceramide, so it really helps hold the whole structure together.
Okay, next, Ceramide 2, often labeled NS or NG.
Ceramide 2 is your moisture balance specialist. This is the primary sealant. It's amazing at creating that barrier to prevent TEWL, that water loss we talked about. It's the master of water retention.
And then there's Ceramide 3 or NP. This one seems to be in everything.
It's the foundational one, the most common and arguably the most important for general repair because it so closely mimics the natural ceramides in our own skin. It's the go-to for moisturizing and protection.
Got it. And finally, Ceramide 6-2 or AP. You said this one has a sort of bonus feature.
It does. This one is really unique. Ceramide AP has mild exfoliating properties.
Like exfoliating?
It helps encourage the natural shedding of dead skin cells. So while it's doing its main job of repairing the barrier, it's also helping to smooth your skin's texture and boost radiance. It cleans up while it works.
That's fascinating. Now, beyond the ceramides themselves, our sources also mention something called precursors. What are those?
Right. So if ceramides are the finished bricks, the precursors are kind of like the foreman on the construction site, telling your skin how to make better bricks on its own.
So they stimulate your skin's own production.
Exactly. The two big ones to look for are phytosphingosine and sphingosine. Phytosphingosine is incredible. It's anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial.
Oh, so that would be great for acne or eczema.
Perfect for them. It calms things down and fights bacteria.
And the other one, sphingosine.
Sphingosine also helps regulate your skin's own ceramide production and has antimicrobial properties. So these precursors are really active players. They're not just passive building blocks.
Okay, so we know why it works. Let's get practical. How do we actually use this in a daily routine? Ceramides have this dual role that's different from, say, hyaluronic acid.
Yes, and this is the key to their power. Ceramide is both a hydrator and a moisturizer.
What's the difference?
A pure hydrator, like hyaluronic acid, is a humectant. It draws water to the skin, but if you don't have a good barrier, that water can just poof, evaporate right back out.
So you need something to trap it there.
And that's the moisturizer role of ceramides. They strengthen that outer layer, the barrier, and create a physical seal to lock the water in. They perform that crucial final step.
So if we're building a full 5-step ceramide routine, how do we layer it all? We always hear thinnest to thickest, but why is that so important here?
It's about absorption. You want the smaller, more watery molecules to go on first so they can penetrate. If you put a thick, occlusive moisturizer on first, it's like putting on a raincoat. Nothing else is getting through.
Makes sense. So what's step 1 in this ideal routine?
You start with a gentle, ceramide-infused cleanser. The goal here isn't really deep absorption, it's about preservation. You're cleaning your skin without stripping away all the good lipids you already have.
Step 2, a toner. Why is that needed?
A toner adds that first light layer of watery hydration and helps balance your skin's pH. When the pH is balanced, everything you put on next just works better. It preps the canvas.
Okay. Step 3 is the workhorse, the serum.
The serum is your power step. This is where you get that potent, concentrated dose of ceramides designed to penetrate a bit deeper and really start that active repair work on the barrier structure.
And after the serum, step 4, the moisturizer.
The vital seal. The moisturizer has a higher concentration of those larger ceramide molecules that sit on the surface and lock everything in. All the hydration, all the serum sealed. This gives you that long-lasting moisture.
And finally, step 5, the one people often forget in a repair routine.
Sunscreen. You finish with a broad-spectrum sunscreen, ideally one that also has ceramides. Sun exposure is one of the biggest barrier destroyers.
So this step protects from UV damage while also actively maintaining the barrier you just built.
It's defense and offense in one step.
Okay, to really lock this in for everyone listening, let's do the big comparison. Ceramides versus niacinamide. They're both incredibly popular, often talked about together, but they're very different.
They are, and it's a great comparison. If building a healthy skin barrier is like building a house...
Let me guess. Ceramides are the actual cement.
Exactly. They are the physical mortar holding the bricks together. Niacinamide is more like the general contractor. It doesn't mix the cement itself, but it makes sure the workers are there and doing a good job.
Okay, let's break that down. First, their source.
Ceramide is a lipid, a fat. Niacinamide is vitamin B3, a water-soluble vitamin, totally different origins.
Second, their function.
Ceramide directly reinforces the barrier to lock in moisture. It's the physical stuff. Niacinamide works indirectly. It sinks in deeper and signals your skin to produce more of its own ceramides.
So it's a manager. It improves the whole system.
Right. And third is molecular size. Ceramide is a larger molecule. It works best on the surface, forming that seal. Niacinamide is much smaller, so it can penetrate deeper to do all its other jobs, like regulating oil and brightening.
So to put it simply, ceramide for immediate direct repair, niacinamide for overall long-term barrier health and other benefits.
You nailed it. They work beautifully together, but they have different primary roles. If your skin is actively dry and irritated, you need the direct help from ceramides.
This all sounds incredibly positive. Since it's something our skin makes anyway, is there any skin type that should avoid them?
Honestly, no. That's one of the best things about them. Ceramides are safe for all skin types. Dry, oily combination, sensitive, acne-prone.
Even oily.
Especially oily. As we said, they help balance everything and stop that overproduction of oil. They're gentle, non-irritating. The risk of a bad reaction is extremely low.
But of course, even with safe ingredients, there's a point where you need to see a professional. When is that?
You should absolutely see a dermatologist if you're getting persistent irritation, redness, or peeling that just won't go away. That could be an allergy to another ingredient in the formula or a deeper issue.
Or a sudden rash or hives?
Definitely. And also, if you're using multiple very strong actives like prescription retinoids or high-strength acids, a doctor can help you figure out the best way to use ceramides to manage the side effects and prevent long-term damage.
We started this deep dive talking about the skin barrier as a structural part of the body. If we pull the lens back, how far does the use of these structural glue molecules go beyond just our faces?
It's fascinating, actually. This concept of lipid repair has been adopted across different industries. The pharmaceutical industry, for example, uses them in treatments for serious barrier disorders. And then there's hair.
Hair? How do they work in hair?
The same logic applies. In hair care, ceramides are used to reinforce the hair cuticle, the outer protective layer of the hair shaft.
So it's like a barrier for your hair.
Exactly. It helps the hair retain moisture, which reduces frizz and breakage. It strengthens the hair's structure. They're even used in the food industry.
As supplements.
As supplements, yeah. To promote skin hydration and elasticity from the inside out, which suggests we can influence this barrier internally, not just topically.
So here's the final thought we want to leave you with. If an ingredient is this powerful at maintaining the structural integrity of our skin, our primary defensive system, what else could it do? Where else could this essential glue be used to improve the resilience of other tissues and components in our bodies? The science is just getting started.